guys, so I was going to talk about this in my vlog today for Vlogtober, which that's going on. We're going strong over on my vlog channel, so go check that out if you want more content from me. But I thought I would make an impromptu video, just really casual, sit down with you guys to talk about this because I explained in yesterday's vlog that the real reason why I haven't made psychology videos / mental health videos in a long time. I also have all my commentary on the Shane Dawson series in case you're interested over on those vlogs. So I already explained all of that over there, but to summarize why I don't make psychology videos anymore is because I feel like I reached my like max amount of subjects that I could appropriately talk about. And, you know, coming from someone who has no experience in the field at all, I only have a bachelor's degree in psychology, so there's only so much I feel is appropriate for me to talk about on a YouTube video, you know? So that's mostly why. There's other, like, personal things that go along with that, like, you know, just my passions are changing a little bit, and I'm just not using my degree at all right now. But generally it's because I didn't feel comfortable talking about mental illnesses and situations and things as someone who's not an expert, never worked with someone with those mental illnesses. So even the ones that I did do felt a little bit weird, and I kind of felt like a fraud doing those kind of videos because it's like anyone can Google what I talked about in those videos. So that's the catch up here of why I haven't really done videos about mental health and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot of other topics that I can explore that I have personal experience with, just like today's topic. I have been collecting, like writing down notes and stuff in my phone of ways that I have, like little reminders to myself, I guess, and for a YouTube video eventually, of ways that I cope with my emotions as someone who is highly sensitive. I'm very much a highly sensitive person. I'm an empath. I just feel everything around me. Like I'm a sponge. If someone in my vicinity that I like know and care about is feeling a negative emotion, I'm gonna feel that too. So it's really important to work on building walls and stuff like that, which is not really what today's video is about. Today's video is about how I personally cope with my own emotions and the roller coaster that is my brain, because every emotion that I feel like 100 times stronger than most people, being someone who's highly sensitive. My emotions really do get the best of me, and I have always dealt with this and struggled with this. Having a full-time job in the past was really, really difficult when I would have hard times and I would have to deal with emotions. It was almost impossible for me to work. I'm not the kind of person that can distract myself with things to not think. By the way, my cat is sleeping on the chair back there, and it's just, I couldn't wake him, so we're sitting on the bed today, but look at how cute he is. Anyway, so I just feel emotions so strongly, and it really takes a lot of effort for me to work through them and continue on as a functioning human through this roller coaster of emotions that I go through on a day-to-day basis. There are some days I would pay money, I would do anything to not feel, because some days it's just so overwhelming that all I can do is feel. And it's so frustrating because there are things on my to-do list, you know, I'm trying to just live my life as an adult, and there are days where I just physically can't because I feel too much. I know I'm not alone in this. I know I have a lot of people who are highly sensitive as well and feel emotions so strongly. And it almost feels frustrating because I feel like as you get older, you should have this maturity about you and your emotions and dealing with them. It's not like I have temper tantrums or anything. I actually don't even cry that often. It's just what I'm going through in my own brain. And it's like, I'm an adult, I'm almost 30 years old. I feel like I should know by now how to deal with my emotions, and it's frustrating having days where I just can't. Anyway, with that being said, I've collected my biggest tips. Like, this is the best advice I'm going to give on my channel for people who deal with emotions and stuff, because this is stuff that actually works for me and thoughts that I have to remind myself on a daily basis to function, and it actually works. These are things that actually work for me, and that is these things are the only reason why I am able to maintain Vlogtober, my horror channel, and this channel right now. Otherwise, I would not be functioning properly without these things I'm going to share in this video. Now, granted, this is what works for me. It may not work for you. You probably have your own ways of coping by now. If you do, please share them in the comments below, because I think we all need as much advice as possible in dealing with this. So there are two big things that I tell myself every day to help me cope, and they're pretty equal in how frequent I tell myself these things and how much like they actually help me. The first one, are you ready? This is like life-changing. Because you hear this, but once I like took it in and really thought about it, life-changing. All feelings that you feel, every emotion that you feel, good and bad, are temporary. I'm gonna say that again. Everything that you feel right now in this moment, or whatever you're going to feel in the future, is completely temporary and will pass. I promise you it will pass. I know we hear that all the time, and it's so frustrating when we're in a bad moment. It feels like it's going on forever and ever and that it's never going to end. So I just want to make sure my mic is still on, because that would be really bad if it just turned off. Okay. But I promise you, everything that you feel is temporary. And at first I hated, okay, there's a hair in my eyeball. When I first heard this, and like, well, not when I first heard it, because I've heard this my whole life, but when I first sat down to think about this, I actually became sad, because everything good that I feel in my life is temporary. If you don't really focus on the good emotions fading, and you focus on everything bad that you will ever feel in your life is completely temporary. That goes for pain as well, like physical pain. Unless of course you're dealing with something like a chronic illness or chronic pain, that's completely different. I'm just talking day-to-day things where you think you're just like so miserable in the moment and that's all you can focus on. Try telling yourself that this will pass. Like, obviously we've heard the phrase, this too shall pass, but really get that ingrained in your skull that everything is temporary. Everything. And this goes into another thing, which isn't like my other biggest tip, but this kind of goes into what I tell myself, that all emotions come and go, and it's okay to let them come and go. You don't need to try to change them. You don't need to sit there and dwell on them and focus on them and figure out why you're feeling like that. You just need to observe what you're feeling in that moment and just be aware of it, and then just accept them as they are. You really don't need to do anything about it. So the next biggest thing that I do every single day that has changed my life is, again, something that's cliche that we've all heard a million times, and that is to practice gratitude every single day. I can guarantee you there is something to be grateful for in every moment of your life. And I mean that literally. Find anything, like the smallest thing. I'm thankful for this blanket on my bed right now because it's so soft. It could be the dumbest things too. It could be, I'm grateful for this beanie covering my greasy hair right now so I don't have to do it. And the beanie makes my life easier. There's something around you, on you, that you can be grateful for. Trust me. I do this thing where I like to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. I don't do it every day, but I do practice gratitude every day just in my mind. There are days where I struggle with this and struggle finding 3 things to be grateful for and struggle finding things to be grateful for in my day-to-day life, but I find when I do it as I live my life, it's so much easier, because day to day, moment to moment, there's always something. Like, I'll be washing my hands and I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful for this running water right now, and for this soap that smells really good that's cleaning my hands. I know it sounds silly to like be grateful for those little things, but those things equal big like things. I don't know if I'm making sense. And I know we've all heard that, and I know it's annoying to hear, especially if you're in a down mood or you're feeling sad right now or miserable or just tied up in an emotion. It's almost impossible to do this, but if you push against those emotions and force yourself to find something to be grateful for, over time that's going to completely change how you feel about everything around you, how you feel about your day-to-day life. It's kind of a combination of those 2 things mostly that I tell myself when I'm feeling something strong, or if I'm feeling stressed out. I will say, what I'm feeling right now is temporary. I don't need to try to change it right now. It's okay to feel what I'm feeling, and then I will find things to be grateful for. Like, if I'm stressed out about work, So this is my job, right? I'm stressed out about all the tutorials I have to film this month, all the reviews I have to film this month, and posting a vlog every single day for 31 days straight. To me, that's very stressful, but then I have to look at it from a bigger picture and say, I am so lucky that I get to work from home and I get to do this for a living. There are a lot of people who would kill for this, so I should be grateful for this opportunity that I have. And then I don't feel as stressed out about it because everything is temporary. This is only this month that I'm really busy, realistically, in the big picture. And that can apply to all of you, even though I'm talking about YouTube and being a YouTuber, obviously that's kind of not as common, but I feel like you can apply that to anything. Another thing that I have learned, I've learned a lot of this through meditation. Again, I always say this, but I know that can be like frustrating to hear when you're in a down moment, but meditation honestly has changed my life as well. And one of the things that it's taught me that's really helped me deal with emotions and stress, especially and anxiety, is being in the present. And practicing gratitude in the present is a really good way to remain in the present and not think about your past or your future. You're just here right now. You're, you know, looking at things that you're grateful for in your space or just around you. And it's just nice and grounding to be here and present in this moment. And when I do that, I don't think about everything that happened yesterday. I don't think about everything that is going to happen tomorrow. I let it go. And that's another huge tip in dealing with emotions, is let it go. I used to be the kind of person that would dwell on every single behavior of mine, and I felt like so awkward. If I had an awkward social interaction, you best believe I would sit there and like simmer on that for days, because I was like, how can I be so weird and so awkward? But you know what I do now is I just let it go. I'm like, yep, that was weird, but I'm moving forward. I'm trucking along. I'm right here, right now. That's over. I never have to think about that again, because realistically, you don't. You don't need to think about anything that happened yesterday again. Another thing that I'm trying to work on is prioritizing things in my life, and that includes emotions. So sometimes you're in a situation, you don't need to deal with your emotions in that moment. All you need to do is that one thing or whatever. You don't need to deal with it in this moment. So you can put them in a little box, put them up on the shelf, and you can deal with them later. You will have time for it later. Trust me, I promise. But as of right now, in this moment, you do not have to deal with anything. I hope that makes sense. But whatever is on your plate right now, just deal with that one thing at a time. When you work or live or play one thing at a time, you don't get so overwhelmed because you're not thinking about all this stuff you have to do in one day. You're just taking it one day at a time, one thing at a time, one errand at a time, one friend at a time, just whatever it is that maybe causes emotion or anxiety or stress. You can't let yourself get overwhelmed by everything that is going on at once, because you're not dealing with it all at once. That's not how we live life. We don't need to think about things so far out and get stressed about them now. That's why, another reason why I am able to maintain, I mean, it's only day 3 of Vlogtober, granted, and day 3 of like dealing with 3 channels, which I've never actually successfully maintained. I think this month will be the first time that I've actually done it, and it's because of these things and me just, you know, staying calm for the most part throughout the month. And, you know, I have to look at it one day at a time. I cannot look at this whole month, otherwise I will have a panic attack about it. I will have a depersonalization episode. I actually felt one coming on when I started to get really stressed out about this month, and for me, they usually start out as a bad headache that I have for a couple days, and it's like a specific kind of headache that I get when I feel like I'm about to have a depersonalization episode, and it's a really scary feeling because you feel out of control. But somehow I was able to stop it. It didn't fully manifest into a whole episode, and I think someone had asked me on my vlog, do you think that those who are highly sensitive are more prone to derealization, depersonalization, and things like that? And I definitely do. Granted, I'm not an expert, but I am a highly sensitive person who has had derealization, depersonalization episodes. So for me, they do go hand in hand because I feel so overwhelmed. And when I get to that point, my brain checks out and doesn't want to deal with anything and goes on autopilot, and then I feel like I'm not in my body. And it's a really scary feeling. So I was trying so hard. I was doing everything I could. I still had to keep working, but I was savoring the little moments of calm that I would let myself have. That would be in the evening time. That would be in the morning time. There were times where I could take a break while a video was exporting because I can't edit and export at the same time. So I would take a moment to just relish in the calm and the peace. So I'd say that's another tip as well, is find little moments to be at peace, because I feel like those really add up in a day. I saw once that if a friend is running late and you're waiting for something, or someone, you're in a grocery line and you're waiting, be grateful for those moments. Don't immediately just go on your phone. Just take that moment to like breathe and be grateful for that moment. So take those moments while you're waiting at a red light or whatever as cues to find things to be grateful for and to bring you back into the present, because I guarantee when you're sitting at a red light or waiting for a friend, your mind is somewhere else. It's not in the here and now. It's gonna be in the future or in the past. So just take those little moments to remind yourself to be in the now. Now I know a lot of this advice is very like, oh, it sounds good, but you have to practice it. It's not like hard advice, like do this and this and this and you won't be stressed ever and your emotions won't control you. I'm sorry, but it's going to take work on your part to get control of your emotions as a highly sensitive person, as someone who feels others' emotions just as strongly as you feel your own. It takes a lot of work. So as long as you're willing to put in the effort and to remind yourself, even when it's so difficult and you just feel like, you know, nothing else is happening except your emotion in your head right now, you need to work past that and remind yourself what you're feeling is temporary. Find things to be grateful for. You are tiny in this universe and probably don't matter. And sometimes it's comforting, sometimes it's not. But for me, when I'm like camping and I'm in nature, I just feel so small in the universe. It's just a good reminder, and like it gives you perspective of how big or small your problems really are. More likely than not, they're really tiny when you think about it in the big scheme of things, because you are tiny in this universe, in this galaxy, on this earth. You are so small. And to me, that's a comforting thought. And just know it's okay to feel emotions. When you feel them coming on, you don't necessarily need to be like, go away emotions. You can let them come and go, because they will go. So just know whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're feeling right now, it is completely temporary and will be gone in a week, in a month, in a year. You won't be feeling what you're feeling right now. So these are the things, again, that have changed my life when I think about them every day, and I do think about them every day. It's the only way that I have learned to cope, is doing these things actively in my brain every single day to not be a stress ball and to not feel my emotions so strongly. Our feelings and emotions are just as valid as everyone else's, even though we tend to cling to them and make them really big. I mean, we can't help it. I hope this video makes sense. It was kind of all over the place. I didn't really have a structure for this video. It was just a very casual, chillin' on the bed kind of advice kind of video, and I feel like I want to do more mental health videos in this kind of style, because I feel like this is a lot more appropriate, because it's something that I personally have experience with and can share with you versus an educational type video. So let me know what you think. Let me know other topics you want me to talk about in this kind of way down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.